Good morning friends and welcome to the pre-market view. US markets were up almost about 1%, mainly on account of the better than expected jobless claims data. Also we had 25 basis point cut in the refinance rate by ECB, which was definitely a positive trigger for the global markets. So European markets too were up about 0.1 to almost about 0.5%. And Mario Draghi has indicated that there is also a possibility of a negative interest rate being offered to the depositors so that they are forced to lend, but this is something that has not been implemented as yet. When we look at the Asian markets today morning, we are not seeing the same sort of strength that the US markets were displaying, and Japanese markets are shut, but most of the other markets are marginally up. And in terms of flows, friends, FIs were net buyers in the cash market to the tune of almost about 1460 crore, and the domestic institutions were sellers in the cash market to the tune of almost about 900 crore, and we have seen buying in the index futures by the FIs to the tune of almost about 700 odd crore. We saw remarkable strength and resilience in our markets as we approach the important event of RBI policy meet, and the last leg of the rally is essentially driven by the expectations of almost about 50 basis point cut in the repo rate, and some section of the market also believes that we may have a CRR cut, because we've seen that after the last RBI policy meet, the commodity prices have cooled off. The crude in particular has actually corrected by almost about 8 to 10%. The WPI inflation number has shown a lot of positive movement on the way down, and that could actually help RBI to cut the rate more aggressively. But given the kind of expectations that we have, there could be some scope of disappointment. On that note, let me invite Shaival to take us through important F&O cues, data and strategies that we can have in the F&O markets.
Good morning friends, let's have a view at derivatives. Friends, from past couple of trading sessions, we've been seeing that the markets of lately have been witnessing a very sharp rally, and due to this we have seen that Nifty has finally surpassed and closed above the mark of 6,000. Now if I talk about the activity of FIs on the futures and options front, from last 2 or say 3 days, there's not a huge activity which has been witnessed in futures and options segment. The PCR ratio in this due course has increased to 1.09 from 1.08, and now if I talk about the activity on the futures front, we have seen long accumulation taking place just before the day of the important event which is lined up today. Now talking about the implied volatility, it's obvious that as we have been approaching towards the event, the uncertainty is increasing, the volatility is increasing. The IVs have increased by say around 17 to 15% in yesterday's trade, and this uncertainty is clearly visible on the option matrix. We have been seeing that the activity is widespread, either it's on call side or on the put side. From intraday perspective, what we feel is that even today markets are going to remain uncertain and highly volatile because of the RBI's policy, and also we have kept also our weekly bias was sideways and our higher range was 5950. We have not reviewed this. We would be reviewing the bias as well as the levels once the event is done. Thank you.
Here are the important news and events that we are tracking today. First of all, some of the companies which will be announcing numbers today are ACC. We are looking at a net profit of about 330 crore. In case of Ambuja, we are looking at a net profit of about 387 crore. Some section of the market believes that there could be one-time item in Ambuja in this particular quarter, and the actual net profit number could be about 450 crore. So there could be an element of surprise in the Ambuja numbers when the numbers are announced. And in case of Titan, the estimated net profit is about 176 crore, which is almost about 19% kind of a growth, and the volume growth that we are looking at for Titan would be about 15%. In other important development, RBI would be meeting up for its policy review meet, where the expectations are that there is going to be a 25% cut both in the repo as well as reverse repo rate. There is not much of clarity about the CRR cut, whether it will come through or not, because some section of the market, particularly the State Bank of India chairman, had indicated that if you really want to bring down the interest rate in the system, the CRR would be a far more effective tool than the repo rate cut, which is more of a signaling measure. So this is something that one will have to watch out for. What we believe is that since the market has already run up over the past about 7 to 10 sessions, and a large part of this run up was driven by the higher expectations of the RBI rate cut. If there is only 25 basis point rate cut, then the market could actually negatively react to that development. So this is something that we need to watch out for, because in the past we've seen that once the RBI's decision is known to the market, market reacts vigorously on the way down if the expectations are not met. So there is a high probability of that happening today. In other important development, the cabinet has approved the IKEA's 10,500 crore proposal to open outlets in India. And the other thing is that the government could not get the food security bill passed in the parliament because of the kind of chaos which was created because of various developments. So this has really not happened, and the market is not expecting any more bills to be taken up in the parliament because of this chaos. Crompton Greaves has entered into a JV with PT Prima Lions and National, which is an Indonesian company, to manufacture the switch gears in Indonesia. So some positive development for Crompton. And Arunachal Pradesh has decided to reverse its earlier decision, which was taken in 2009, to give 49% equity in its hydropower project to Navin Jindal Group. For steel industry, some relief is expected, particularly because of the higher import from China and Italy and few other countries. The government is contemplating a higher duty on pipes, tubes and profiles to protect the domestic industry. Just to give you an idea, the Jindal Saw Limited and Indian Seamless Metal Tubes are the large manufacturers of these pipes and tubes in India, and for their protection some kind of an emergency tariff could be imposed. So one can expect some positive reaction in these two stocks in today's market. Some positive news for Alstom, as it is backed about 100 million euro, which is almost about 710 crore kind of an order from BHEL for making boilers for NTPC. So one can go long on Alstom India with a stop loss of about 318 and a target of about 334 to about 340. And Venus Remedies has bagged a contract by signing a deal with the South Korean drug company Goodwills Limited for one of the drugs. So one can go long on Venus Remedies with a stop loss of 248 and a target of about 261 to about 265. Sobha Developers is looking at developing almost about 1,000 acres of township in Dubai. So this is definitely positive for Sobha. One can go long there with a stop loss of 403 and a target of about 423 to about 431. And Canara Bank came out with a disappointing set of numbers. They reported a profit of 725 crore, and what market did not like much was the increase in the provisioning requirement, which definitely was not in line with market expectations. So one can short Canara Bank with a stop loss of 420 and a target of about 399 to about 391. That's it from all of us, friends. Have a great weekend and see you on Monday morning.